Good afternoon, all. I, Dr. Karandeep Paul, on the behalf of Department of Psychiatry, AIMS Jodhpur, welcome you all to the today's webinar, that is Enhancing Child's Wellbeing, a Mindfulness Approach. So we have three speakers or resource persons today with us. The first is Dr. Naresh Devinani, who is Additional Professor in Head, Department of Psychiatry, He has done his MBBS from SMS Jaipur. He has done his MD Psychiatry from PGI Chandigarh. He has around 15 years of experience in psychiatry, and his areas of interest are child and adolescent mental health and yoga and mental health. The second speaker is Dr. Tanu Gupta, who is clinical psychologist in the Department of Psychiatry at AIIMS Jodhpur. She has done her MPhil in clinical psychology from IBHAS, and she has done her PhD in clinical psychology from AIIMS New Delhi. Her experience is around 12 years in the area of psychology, and her areas of interest are child and adolescent psychotherapy, cognitive behavior therapy, and stress management. We have a third speaker, Ms. Halimunisa. She is child psychologist in the Department of Psychiatry at AIIMS Jodhpur. She has done her MPhil in psychology from NIMHANS Bangalore, and she is currently pursuing her PhD in psychology from Mysore University. She has around 6 years of experience in the psychology, and her areas of interest are child and adolescent mental health and child and adolescent psychotherapy, stress management, mindfulness, cognitive behavior therapy, and solution focused approach. So I now welcome Dr. Tanu Gupta for the first session of the today's webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Karan, for a wonderful introduction. So, before delaying, I would like to start. The topic that I'm going to speak about is the common problem behaviors. This is not a new topic for teachers. The problem behaviors have been here from last many years and teacher platforms. Nowadays, teaching is happening global because of teaching and learning in a wonderful way. So if I talk about the difference of physical class lessons and teaching, and in physical classroom, the focus is more on the interaction between teachers to students, student to teacher, and student to student. All these make a teaching really if students really creates a ground for effective teaching and learning. So many views can be shared at a single time. However, if I look at the virtual classroom, I request all of you to mute your mics. Whereas I look at the virtual classroom, these interactions are difficult to be duplicated in a virtual classroom. Here, the teacher is usually able to interact with only one student at a time, and it is also from behind the computer. So the real connected violate explicit rules or implicit norms actually disturb the classroom order and imitate the process of teaching and learning. So all of you have been must have encountered such behaviors in your classroom. Engaging problematic behavior, personal problem, they may have some family stressors or personal stressors that they are facing. Right now, some of the students may have some adjustment reactions due to ongoing COVID pandemic, or some of the students do face developmental issues like you see students with special needs. Some of the students are especially the newer one, and some of them really consider them most difficult part of their job. Children who exhibit behavior problem invariably require extra attention and extra time of teachers, and that actually places a burden on teachers and slows the pace at which lessons are offered and completed. So how do you identify that this behavior could be a problematic behavior? So nearly everyone can have a moment of disruptive behavior or an error of judgment. Maybe your student is not really behaving well as you expect. But when the behavior remains consistent, there is a consistent pattern, and the behavior is repetitive, and also that is not typically acceptable, only then we say that it could be a problematic behavior. So, what are the common problem behaviors that we see in classroom teaching, or be it physical classroom or virtual classroom? The first and most important is poor engagement of the students. Students may not be very well engaged in your teaching, in your classroom lessons. They may have their own distractions within the home, specifically if I talk about the virtual classroom. So they may have something else to look forward, or in the classroom they may look outside the window. So there are so many distractions available in the environment. At the same time, they do experience inattention. That clearly says that they may not be able to continue their focus for a longer time. So they may focus, they may try to put up the attention in your class, and then they get distracted easily. They cannot sustain their attention, so that becomes real problem for them to grasp and comprehend the lessons that you are teaching. Other problem behavior could be the lack of motivation. The person is really don't want to study. He has something else in his mind, or difficulty in completion of the task. The children don't want to complete their task. They struggle with completion of their homeworks. Maybe they require some assistance from the parents that they are not getting, or from the teachers they are not comprehending the instructions. They so that's why they are not able to keep the deadlines. Suppose you have given a task or given a project, and you need to submit this project on this date, and students may not be able to keep deadlines. In the online class, you may see that they are joining late, they're leaving early, they don't know okay, what is the time of this class, and sometimes they express that they get bored with this online education or online classes, maybe due to their own commands, the instructions well, they have grasped the lesson or not, they're not very clear. Some of the problems do occur due to technical issues, maybe internet, maybe lack of access to the internet or the laptop, the phone, smartphones. So that could be another reason why the students are not able to finish their task or unable to sustain their educational needs. Absenteeism is quite common even in the physical classroom. If the children are not interested, not willing to study, they try to bunk their classes, they try to remain absent. Next would be the misbehavior. They misbehave with their classmates or with teachers, or they that we have discussed, unable to submit their work on time is very common. In the virtual classroom, the major problem that teachers are facing, they are sometimes the child is engaged with their own personal steps. They are doing something activities, so it's like a multi tasking. They either here they are logged into the virtual classroom, but there are other things going on at the same time. So this is also quite common. They talk out of turn whenever you are teaching. That really creates a disruptive classroom. They may call out their friends, "Hello, how are you?" Then they make remarks, unnecessary remarks that is not really required, and may engage into disruptive conversations. Some of the other problem behaviors could be disrespecting teachers. They are refusing to carry out instruction. Some of the students may can be observed in view of hyperactive students. They find it difficult to sit at a place. They remain wandering around the room. They run away from the room, so they cannot sit still. And sometimes students do engage into daydreaming. They think something else and you speak something else. They are in your they are logging and they are attending your class, but their mind is somewhere else, or they are sleeping in the class. So with this, I would say that there are challenges when we talk about the homeschooling. What could be the challenges for students, for teachers, and for parents? First of foremost important thing to understand is there are countless distractions while learning at home. So you have so many other things to do. So expectation, whereas if we talk about the expectation for student behavior in online class may be similar to physical classrooms rules, that is really difficult to meet. Students may not feel comfortable in opening up their homes to their classmates. That's quite often reported. On the other hand, if parents are assisting, they find it difficult to maintain a balance between their work, the household, and the class, the virtual learning, teaching of the students. Or they may also have younger sibling to take care, or they may create some sound or noise disturbance while they are attending their online classes. And moreover, what I would say here, in the virtual classroom, the informal support by teachers are missing. Like whenever you see there is a child who is unable to focus on the work, who is unable to like who need extra help, you go and tap the child. You try to get the child back to the physical classroom to focus. That is not really available in the remote learning, or helping a child with special needs. You feel that child is still struggling with writing or with understanding. You put some extra effort in your physical classroom, which is really missing in virtual classroom, and that has really have a positive impact on the level of students' engagement with that. If you talk about the other challenges, school rules in someone's home is definitely going to be different. Some classroom behavior expectations are out of students' control in remote learning environment. For example, students might not have their own private place or quiet space to log on to the text meetings. Their parents might be at work or working from home or unable to supervise. So that's the real reason why they are not able to engage and express the problem behavior. Definitely, they have their own strategies, their practices to manage students' day-to-day behavior, and they will manage really well. But many parents and caregivers may find these behavior management challenging while adjusting to the virtual or at-home education. I would say even teachers find it difficult to manage this at a virtual platform. This can be especially difficult as many children deal with emotional challenges like increased anxiety or stress as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. They want to study, they want to focus, but still they are struggling with this uncertainty. The situation is such that they are not able to focus. So many children have really expressed their psychological issues that also we need to take into consideration. So coming to the major focus of this webinar is the solution, the mindfulness approach that I would just introduce, and my fellow speaker will elaborate on this. Mindfulness practices as has been derived their roots from Buddhist tradition. John Kabat-Zinn founded the MBCR, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction for chronic patients in 1979. So if you talk about the mindfulness, what it really is? So the simple definition could be the awareness paying attention in the present moment and non-judgment. So if you can see this picture here, what is happening? The person is there in the present moment, but the mind is either in the present, either in the future or in the past. So the mindfulness actually teaches you be there wherever you are with your mind, with your body, and focus at a moment at a particular time. This picture, I would say that this can really actually give us an idea how mindfulness can be defined. So here you can see this is a child who has so many things in his mind. Pets, there are video games, I want to watch TV, I want to listen music, I am hungry, I want to talk to my friends. At the same time, he's attending the maths class or he's doing the maths homework. So what is more important to pay attention? So here it is more important to pay attention to the current class, that is maths. So these things can be tackled or handled at a later stage. So being mindfulness is paying attention to the most important things that you are doing right now, right away. Otherwise, your mind will remain full, but you will not be able to gain anything from a particular situation. So with this, I thank you all, and I request my fellow speaker to take you forward with this webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Tanu, for introducing the topic. So, good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to join me in this journey. We will be exploring what exactly is mindfulness approach and how we can use this approach to enhance a child's well-being. So, I understand that some of you are already familiar with what mindfulness is, but for most of them, this is something new. So that is why I have tried to simplify it as much as possible. And if there are any queries, we will anyways take it up in the end. So this will be the outline which I'll be following. talking about what is mindfulness and most importantly, what it's not. What are the benefits of mindfulness for students and teachers? How does it work on the brain? And few mindfulness practices what can be used for children. And if time permits and there are no technical issues, we will be showing a video in which you will see how you can demonstrate it to children. Now I'm going to read a few statements. All you have to do is, you don't have to raise your hand or give me a score of it. You just in your mind answer if you have ever come across these situations. Did something you later regretted? Being so nervous for a presentation event that you couldn't sleep the night before? Walked into a room to get something and then forgot what you were looking for? In the past, we are traveling happens, that is when we come across all such situations even more. So when we talk about what is mindfulness or where is it applicable, where is it? It's everywhere to sum it. You talk about the top billionaires, people like Bill Gates and even the top entrepreneurs. In their interviews, they have spoken about the importance of mindfulness, meditation. They talk about firms like Google have made it compulsory for their workers to attend workshops in mindfulness or practice it daily. The celebrities swear by it, the sports people, all the famous sports people talk about mindfulness. When you talk about universities like Oxford, Harvard, Yale, Michigan, name a few, have made mandatory programs in mindfulness. Oxford even offers a 2-year master's degree in mindfulness. So obviously they realize the importance that is why it is there everywhere. So let's look into what is mindlessness. So what happens? There's a stimulus. The stimulus can come from any of our 5 senses, and basically we just react instantly. So there's just this automatic response based on our previous experience. So whenever there's a stimulus, you just react, just dwelling on whatever you know without even realizing, without even stopping, and then you just give your response. So that is being mindless. So what happens in mindfulness? There's a stimulus. So you actually recollect yourself because you're in the present right now. You are able to pay attention to what exactly is happening here, and then you have a choice. So you make a choice, that is, you consider the present moment, evaluate it, try to look out for various options. You're not judging it. You're not saying that this is positive or this is negative. You're just seeing what is the best option you can do in the situation, and then you're making your response. So the duration is the same, but it's just that with mindfulness, it will give you the capacity to actually pause before you respond. Let's talk about what mindfulness is not. So it is not thinking about nothing or being blank, as many people say, it's very difficult for me. So that's not mindfulness. It's being aware of your own thoughts. And it's definitely not about being happy all the time and loving every single bit in your everyday routines as well. So it's not from a religious background, it is a secular practice, it is mental training, and it is supported by clinical research. It's not just about living only in the present and never thinking about the past or planning for the future. However, it's more of a deliberate act. That is, even when you're planning, you're actually aware of what you're doing and realizing whether it is significant or not. So it's not just like it's always going to be relaxing. It may not happen. Sometimes it may be boring. It may be annoying. As I previously mentioned, that you can feel sad, upset, whatever it is just about being with what you have or what you're going through. So it is not zoning out, that you're just sitting, closing your eyes and your mind is just wandering off everywhere. It is more of zoning in. And this is more of purposeful awareness. You're just looking into your mind, you're looking into your body and saying, what is happening here? So it is not a form of classroom discipline or a kind of punishment. So it is about teaching children to be with all aspects of their experience. Now the effect of this is it generally creates a very quiet and focused classroom. But this is not intended to be used to get to kids to just pay attention for hours together. That is not the focus of it. When we look at the 5 qualities or facets of mindfulness, these 5 kind of summarize it. One is observing one's experience, describing them, acting with awareness, and being non-judgmental about the inner experiences. That is, whatever your thoughts are, you're not labeling it saying that positive or negative. So this remember that this is being about non-judgmental. So it's not like whenever you are happy, you go label the thought and you just overflow in that emotion. This is like you're going to be non-judgmental, whether it is positive or negative. We even try to explain it like, for example, let's say our thoughts are from A to Z. I would say that, I don't like thought number B and D, so I don't want it. So do you see how funny it sounds? And that's not actually possible. That's why non-judgment is a better approach, saying no positive, no negative. And also how you should not react to what is happening. Let's say you are actually feeling very angry and you start shouting. So this will teach you how to be non-reactive to whatever experience you are going through. So why do we need to know about mindfulness? Now, when you look at the aim of any educational platform, they generally want to offer something where the children can pick up necessary life skills, which can lead to a holistic well-being and development in the long run. So when we talk about intelligence, it is more of, we look at only the academic part, but for more truly successful people, there is a blend of social intelligence and emotional intelligence, both which are very important, and this is kind of ignored in most of the situations. So here I would like to highlight that as we were previously talking about all the problems, and now we have to be even more prepared that post the pandemic, when the children do come back, from already research which has been done, they say that we can predict a lot of anxiety in the children, stress in the children, and also the most of the guidelines talk about how schools are the best place where some kind of intervention can be provided, because not all of them may have specialized services. And also the fact that when you come across all these problems, there is definitely something you can do. So what is it that we can plan and what is it that we can do? We have to come up with effective ways to help calm our students' anxious nervous systems while providing them with supportive relationships, nurturing experiences, and positive learning environments. So if you look at the UNICEF guidelines, they already how whenever the schools reopen, the next first 3 months they have to definitely focus more on making the children more comfortable and making them adapt. So the effects are already known from any disorder you pick and choose, improves the quality of life. The overall benefits include boosting immune system, lowering blood pressure, it lowers